We are Group 2, and welcome to our presentations. We have 5 members, Tu Ling, Mi Ling, Diêu Ling, Thai Ling, and Khánh Ling. Yes, our topic is Everyday Students English Phonetic, a study on confusing consonants and amongst English major freshmen at Wing University. So now let's move to the introductions. First, regarding the rationale, pronunciation plays a crucial role in spoken English because it directly affects intelligibility. Among various pronunciation features, the consonants sh and s are frequently confused by learners in many EFL contexts. So we carry out this study to investigate among English major freshmen at Wing University. So next, let's move to the objectives of the study. The objectives of the study are threefold. The study aims to identify common pronunciation problems related to sh and s, examine the reasons why English major freshmen make the pronunciation mistake, and propose practical suggestions to help students improve their pronunciation's accuracy. Based on the objectives, the study addressed 3 research questions. The questions focus on the problems students encountered when pronouncing sh and s, the reasons behind the errors, and possible ways to improve students' pronunciations of the 2 consonants. In terms of significance, the study is expected to raise student awareness of accurate pronunciations and provide useful implications for pronunciation teaching. In addition, it may serve as a reference for further research on English pronunciations in similar EFL contexts. And finally, regarding the scope, the study focused on English major freshmen at Wing University and concentrates only on the pronunciations of consonants sh and s in spoken English. And next part, let's move to the literature review.
Hi, my name is Diêu Ling. Okay, so in English phonetics, consonant sounds are classified based on places of articulation, manner of articulation, and voicing. The sounds s and sh are both volus fricatives, meaning they are produced without vocal cord vibration and with continuous airflow. However, despite these similarities, they differ mainly in their place of articulation, which often leads to pronunciation confusion among Vietnamese learners. The sound s is a volus alveolar fricative produced with the tongue close to the alveolar ridge, creating a narrow airflow and a sharp hissing sound. In contrast, sh is articulated further back in the post-alveolar region with a broader tongue shape and sometimes slight lip routing, resulting in a softer friction sound. Although the articulatory difference is small, it causes a clear contrast in sound quality. In addition, learners may find these sounds more difficult in medial or final position due to articulation in connected speech. So, what about the previous studies? It shows that English foreign language learners often have difficulties with fricative consonants, especially when sounds share the same manner of articulation but differ in place of articulation. Roth points out that even small differences in tongue position can cause persistent pronunciation errors, which explain the frequent confusion between s and sh. Many researchers emphasize the role of the first language in L2 pronunciation. Learners tend to assimilate unfamiliar L2 sounds into existing L1 categories. And in Vietnamese, s exists, while sh is not clearly contrastive, leading learners to substitute sh and s. So, what about the perceptual difficulties? While perception also plays an important role in pronunciation accuracy, learners must be able to perceive phonetic construct in order to produce them accurately. In addition, learners often fail to recognize the acoustic differences between s and sh, especially in connected speech. And several studies suggest that limited pronunciation instruction contributes to these errors, and these researchers emphasize the need for clear instruction on articulatory features to help learners distinguish similar sounds. And in the next part, the link will continue our presentation.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Chen Ling, and now I will continue our presentation by talking about methodology. So, about participants, this study involved 20 first-year English majors from the foreign language department at the university, all at roughly about A2 level. None of them had studied phonetics and phonology, which helped ensure objectivity of the survey. The research used a quantitative approach to examine the accuracy, difficulty, and causes of mispronunciations of the sounds sh and s. The next part is instruments and procedures. Students use speech recordings. We use speech recordings of words and sentences of students in which they recorded words and sentences containing these sounds in 3 different positions. Their recordings were analyzed using the 2Phonetics tool supported by a Google Form survey. We also used Rachel's English IPA videos to train their pronunciation after making them record themselves again. The fourth part is data analysis. The pre and post test results were then compared using percentages, tables, and charts. Okay, so now let's come to findings and discussions. The first one is common pronunciation problem with sh and s among English major students at the university. As you can see, the table here is the result of the pre-test of sh and s sound. So, based on the figures, the overall level of mispronunciation among the participants was pretty high, and the average accuracy for this sh sound was 66.7% higher than that of sound. Okay, so to be more specific, in terms of sh articulation, the highest accuracy was found in the initial position with 75% of students pronouncing the word sugar correctly. Move slide. Accuracy then decreased in the medial and final position with 60% and 55% respectively. This shows a trend of increasing difficulty towards the latter positions. A similar trend was also witnessed in the sound test, in which slide in next, in which the highest accuracy also belongs to the first position, with at 65%, and the figure for middle and end position were 45% and 60%. To further examine pronunciation ability, two sentences were designed for each sound, containing 6 target words. Mình liền nói lại quả hai cởi. For each sound, containing next containing 6 target words across initial, medial, and final positions. The pretest results indicate that the majority of students belonged to the moderate ability group, while like accounting for 45% for sh and 50% for s sound. We then compare the difficulties of pronouncing these words in words and sentences. Okay, so coming to the next one, like we want to compare the difficulties levels of pronouncing these sounds in words and sentences. As you can see from the chart here, the majority of students fall into the moderate ability group. Participants actually made more and mispronunciations in sentences than isolated words, and it is believed that this is due to grammar, stress, intonation, and co-articulation effects. Okay, so the next part will be presented by Megan.
Okay, so hello, my name is Nandini Ling, and in the next question of the survey, we explored about the students' perceptions and their experience related to the mispronunciation of sh and s. The results show that only 30% of the students found these two sounds easy to pronounce, while the majority reported them as neutral or difficult. This indicates that most learners are confused when pronouncing the two consonants sh and s. When we asked about the cause of their mispronunciation, most students indicate that a lack of phonetics knowledge was the main reasons. In addition, about 60% of the participants reported the first language interference, suggesting that their mispronunciation habits sometimes have the negatively influence on their production of these English consonants. Um, After evaluating the pretest results, we provide learners with instructional results like video instruction videos focusing on how to pronounce the word sh and s correctly. After watching a video, clear improvements could be observed. First, at the word level, the number of pronunciation errors for both sh and s decreased, decreased, decreased notably. Improvement was found across all word precision, including the beginning, middle, and in the end precisions. At the sentence level, mm, the number of low-level learners decreased, while the number of high-level learners increased, showing positive shifts in learners' overall pronunciation performance. Overall, at both word and sentence levels, learners demonstrate better awareness and control of the sh and s contrast. This suggests that the instructional video had a positive effect on learners' ability to produce this sound accurately, especially in incomplete sentences, which are usually more challenging. In conclusion, the survey findings indicate that most students in conclusion, the survey findings indicate that most students initially struggle with and contrast due to limited phonetics knowledge and first language interference. However, the post-test results clearly show that the pronunciation video have the positively influence on students' pronunciation accuracy and their personal overall performance. And in the next part, we'll come to the recommendations.
So now I would like to move to the chapter 5 recommendation. Based on finding of this study, the confusion between the consonant sounds and is quite common among English major freshmen at Bing University. This problem mainly comes from limited phonetic awareness and a lack of systematic pronunciation practice. Therefore, three main recommendations are proposed. First, it is important to raise learner awareness of the phonetic difference between these two sounds instead of asking students to simply imitate. Teachers should clearly explain how s and sh are produced, focusing on tongue position, lip routing, and airflow. Visual aids and pronunciation videos, such as those from reliable sources, can help students better um, and understand the articulated differences. Second, pronunciation practice should be placed in meaningful context rather than taught in isolation. Although many students can pronounce the sounds correctly in drills, they still make mistakes. And in real communication, activities like short dialogue, sentence reading, and role play allow students to practice and naturally, which helps improve both accuracy and fluency. And finally, learners should be encouraged to monitor their own pronunciation and take part in peer feedback. By recording their speech and comparing it with standard pronunciation models, students can identify their own errors and gradually improve. Peer feedback also creates supportive environment and reduces speaking anxiety. In conclusion, by combining phonetic awareness and contextualized practice and learner autonomy, this recommendation can help students overcome confusion between and improve the overall communicative competence. Okay, now we're going to the conclusion. So, in conclusion, this study highlights that the confusion between and is a common issue among English major freshmen, mainly due to limited phonetic awareness and insufficient pronunciation practice. By focusing on phonetic contrast and contextualized practice and learner autonomy, students can improve their pronunciation accuracy and overall communicative competence. Thank you for listening and goodbye.
Only